Jesus grew up in a small town. Nazareth is in the north part of Israel, just a hill overlooking the valley of Megiddo. Nazareth was considered by many as being the wrong side of the tracks. Not too far from Nazareth was the area of the Galilee, which was an absolutely resplendent area and still is today one of the most beautiful areas in Israel. When Jesus started his ministry, he went to where the people were. That took him to Jerusalem, and Jesus was not concerned about going to areas where a lot of people wouldn't go because of the social stigma that associated with those areas. And that one of those places was the Pool of Bethesda. You are now looking at an artist's representation of the Pool of Bethesda in the story where the man was lying alongside the pool waiting for the angel to dip into the pool and stir the waters. Now you're looking at a model of what the Pool of Bethesda looked like during the time of the Second Temple in Jerusalem. This is what the area looks like present day. The name of the pool is said to be derived from the Hebrew and Aramaic language. Beth Hesda means either house of mercy or house of grace. This meaning may have been thought appropriate since the location was seen as a place of disgrace due to the presence of invalids and a place of grace due to the granting of healing. The story of the man healed at the Pool of Bethesda is found in John 5. Let's read it. After this, there was a feast of the Jews, and Jesus went up to Jerusalem. Now there is in Jerusalem by the sheep gate a pool, which is called in Hebrew Bethesda, having 5 porches. In these lay a great multitude of sick people, blind, lame, paralyzed, waiting for the movement of water. For an angel went down at a certain time into the pool and stirred up the water, and whosoever stepped in it first, after the stirring of water, was made well of whatsoever disease he had. Now a certain man was there who had an infirmity 38 years. When Jesus saw him laying there and knew that he had already been there in that condition a long time, he said to him, "Do you want to be made well?" The sick man answered him, "Sir, I have no one to put me into the pool when the water is stirred up, but while I am coming, another steps in before me." Jesus said to him, "Rise, take up your bed and walk." And immediately the man was made well, took up his bed and walked. And that day was the Sabbath. The Jews therefore said to him who was cured, "It is the Sabbath. It is not lawful for you to carry your bed." And he answered them, "He who made me well said to me, 'Take up your bed and walk.'" And then they asked him, "Who is the man who said to you, 'Take up your bed and walk'?" But the one who was healed did not know who it was, for Jesus had withdrawn, a multitude being in that place. Afterward, Jesus found him in the temple and said to him, "See, you have been made well. Sin no more, lest a worse thing come upon you." Now, I want to highlight a couple things. I'm highlighting the term by the sheep gate. The sheep gate was an area where people would bring in their sheep that were used for holiday purposes and being sold to individuals who had come to sacrifice in the temple for the forgiveness of their sins. The priests had established a business of kickbacks to all the individuals that were bringing in sheep. Only a sanctioned sheep could be slaughtered for forgiveness, and that's why they were getting a little piece of the action when the individual would be sold a sheep that was sanctioned by someone. Sort of like the concept of kosher that exists right now amongst the Jewish system. The sheep gate was a foul place. It was replete with the waste of animals. It would be a place that the Jewish priests would never find themselves. However, Jesus went to seek and save the lost, and that's where he found this man. Jesus asked the man the obvious, "Do you want to be made well?" The sick man answered him, "Sir, I have no man to put me into the pool when the water is stirred up, but while I'm coming, another steps in down before me." This verbal exchange between the man and Jesus Christ was significant because Jesus asked him a simple question that would be obvious to anyone. Do you want to be made well? The man's response was significant. It could have been just yes or no. It was obviously yes, but instead he gave him an excuse why it wasn't happening, because he was dependent upon the tradition of the day. Jesus in this moment set the example to break the traditions of the day and said to him, "Rise up, take up your bed and walk." In verse 9 it says, "And immediately the man was made well and took up his bed and walked." Now the man is reported to the priest for picking up his bed and walking on the Sabbath day. He's approached by the priest and they said, "Why are you doing this? You shouldn't be carrying this bed." They had no regard for the fact that the man was healed. They knew him full well, that he had been there for 38 years. They specifically saw the power of Jesus Christ to heal him, yet they were concerned with the law of breaking the Sabbath. This is what they used against Jesus Christ. They wanted to get him some manner, and they used this as an accusation against Jesus during his trial, that he was a Sabbath breaker. In this way, they could get him crucified before the people. We read in the book of Matthew 28, verses 18 through 20, "And Jesus came and spake to them, saying, All power is given to me in heaven and in earth. Go ye therefore and teach all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father and the Son and the Holy Ghost, teaching them to observe all things whatsoever I have commanded you. And lo, I am with you always, even unto the end of the world." Jesus Christ has all power. He has all the power that was given at creation when he spoke the words, and things just appeared as a result of that. He created light, and darkness didn't know what to do with it. He created the mountains, and he separated the water from the dry land. The whole system that you see here in the creation is the power of God, given specifically to Jesus Christ to enable him to accomplish those things that needed to be done to spread the word in this world so that you and I could be saved. In order to have the assurance of salvation, repeat Romans 10 verse 9 with me right now. "I say with my mouth that Jesus is Lord, and I believe in my heart that God raised him from the dead. And as a result, I am saved," according to Romans 10 verse 10. Remember, every Wednesday a new video comes out on this channel declaring the love of God through his Son, Jesus Christ, to you specifically and to the rest of the world. Share this with everyone. God bless you.